Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 2nd of July. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some volume being learned from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com and is published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, let's have a look at, hang on one second. Okay. All right, let's have a look at ES. Okay, we've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed. We've got quite a lot of negative divergence here. We've got this weak 60-minute sell signal fixed here. NQ made the target on the sell signal there. RTY, we've actually got a third 60-minute sell signal fixed here. And that obviously is pointing down, and YM, we had a move. We actually saw higher highs yesterday that didn't invalidate the original double 60-minute sell signal that we had, and if we hadn't already had one, another one would have fixed overnight. So we've got quite a lot of negative divergence here. If we have a look at the RTH charts, we've also got a 60-minute sell signal which has fixed. A 60-minute RSI 14 sell signal, which is fixed on Qs, and we've got ones brewing on SPX and Dire. That needs to be respected. We're probably going to see some retracement. We will see how that goes. I'm not expecting to see an awful lot, but I am expecting to see some retracement here. DAX, we've got an IHS here which has broken up and could fail on a move down below the right shoulder low, and ESTX, we have the same. Holding the weekly pivot so far on ESTX and holding it on DAX so far. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Okay, ES, this week, the last of the RSI 14 sell signals that have fixed have failed. They were all weak and they've all gone, which is great. So I'm pleased about that because I didn't want any. Well, I would like this to resolve higher. I think it's got a pretty good chance of resolving higher. And this potentially was an issue. So the fact that these have all failed is pretty good from my point of view. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we've been crawling up. I'm rather hoping that will continue. We've got here we've got we're pretty close to the 3SD upper band, so it wouldn't be a bad time to see a bit of a retracement. We almost touched it a couple of days ago. We're looking for a resistance trend line here, although we do actually still have one at the moment, and it's a pretty nice one. I'm wondering about a possible test of the, and actually this looks like a small move, but actually this could involve going down 90 or 100 handles. I'm wondering about a test of this rising support trend line. All right, looking at the Qs. Qs, 60-minute sell signal. Has this one failed yet? I think it has, yeah. So that's gone too. On the Qs, again, I'm wondering about a little head and shoulders forming here. I'm wondering about a move down into this rising support in the 537 area, and we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. Looking at Dire, this has been doing pretty well, and we're getting very close to a retest of the all-time high, which is where I would like to see this finish up. We never had a sell signal on here. We do have a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing here, and it's nice. We've gone through the obvious resistance trend line here, which I'm quite pleased about. I don't have a really obvious alternative at the moment, and I would note though that this could still be a bearish overthrow. So we shall see. All right, let's have a look at the IWM chart. So let's look at that now. Okay, IWM. On the daily chart, we're making progress to the upside. It's slower than I was hoping for, but nonetheless, we are making progress. I would like to see this IHS play out. On the hourly chart, we've now got a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing there. Short term, we've gone through the obvious resistance trend line. There are alternatives. Particularly, there's one coming from here, which could have a trend line going up into about the 225 area. I am wondering about a bit of a retracement here, and really this gives us possible hourly RSI 14 sell signals brewing across the board on the US indices with the one on Qs already fixed. Nothing really to see on the 15-minute. I will draw in the possible alternative resistance trend line that I would be watching, and it would be better than the current one, and that would be this. And obviously that could allow a move significantly higher. How good is that trend line? It's pretty good. Not perfect, but it's good. No, actually, it is pretty close to perfect. Yeah, these two here actually line up, so that's already a three touch trend line, and that's what I would like this to evolve into. So we will see whether or not that happens. All right, great. Let's have a look at DAX on the daily charts. Obviously, we've been paused. We've been backtesting the daily middle band, and that might well hold. In terms of IWM, the daily middle band is still significantly below. I've got that at 211.85. Obviously, SPX is a long way below as well, or just under the 3SD upper band. And NQ is quite a bit lower as well. On Nikkei, this has been powering up, and now this target I've got at the retest of this high here at 42.4 is looking pretty good, and I like it. Bit of a retracement here wouldn't be a bad thing. And all of these were looking a little overboard. Now, one thing I want to say about the stats is that the stats we've got, we had obviously a very bullish leading day yesterday. We've got another one on Thursday. Obviously, it's the day before a holiday. Next week, we've got bullish leading days on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then we've got bullish days on the following week on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And the next bearish leading day we've actually got is on Monday, the 21st of July. What I would like to see is a bit of a retracement here and then a resumption of the uptrend. I'm going to be doing an update post either today or tomorrow talking about the upside targets and how we're looking across the board on this. But at the moment, this is pretty promising. When I was talking about the bull scenario about 3 weeks ago, this is about where I was hoping we would be by now. So that's pretty promising. Okay, let's have a look at DX. Now, DX, we've got a little wedge here. It's breaking up. It's pretty good. So watching to see if this bottoms out, but we could go a little lower. And one reason I'm wondering about that is because we come very, very close to the key support trend line, which is here, but we haven't actually quite touched it. I'd quite like to see it touch it. So I'm just going to have a quick look because obviously we've come so close. If this line's moved slightly since I originally drew it, so let's have a look at that. That is definitely there. Has it hit already? Yeah, I think it has. Okay, arguably we have a hit already. Could go a little lower. This is actually this is the key point in the inflection point. If we turn up directly from here, not only do we probably get back on a break over the flag resistance of 109, not only do we probably get back to 11776, which is possible, we get back to megaphone resistance again, although I'd be a little doubtful. And we've got that up in about the 118, 119 area. So this is the area I was watching. I thought we'd lost positive divergence on the RSI 14, but we didn't quite, but we've mainly got very good positive divergence on the RSI 5. So we shall see. This is where the rubber meets the road. If we start breaking down through the megaphone, then we won't be going up to the megaphone resistance trend line in all probability, and we may actually be looking at a larger breakdown. But this is the key support level. Looking at ZB, we've got a nice looking rising wedge here. This is a slight bearish overthrow. We are coming back into support, and I'm wondering about this breaking down. Obviously, we've got double support at the weekly pivot and the monthly pivot between 114.06 and 114.11. If we have a quick look at the TNX chart, this looks like a nice falling wedge, which has underthrown slightly at the bottom and would be about to break up here. So watching this with great interest. This is still very much a potential bear flag. Watching to see where this goes from here. Partially, I suspect this may depend on what happens to the Big Beautiful Bill. I suspect it'll be good for bonds if it fails. So we'll see. All right, CL. This still looks like a bear flag forming. The buy signal has reached the full target. HO, buy signal reached the full target, and we've got a weak 6-minute sell signal fixed. Possible bear flag forming here too. RBOB, not quite sure what is happening here, but we had another buy signal here, and that's also no target, no current negative divergence. NG, we've actually got a decent looking little falling wedge here, which is starting to break up. Watching this with great interest. But I'm not thinking this is going to head straight. I'm not seeing much reason to think this would head back higher in a big way. But we will see. All right, GC, still kicking around here. We've got the falling megaphone that is broken up. Basically, we're just really heading sideways in a range, and we're waiting until it's ready to go back and retest the high. On SI, the double top shows no signs of playing out whatsoever. So I am leaning towards seeing a retest of this high next, and I've got a bigger picture target in the 39 area. On Palladium, leaning towards seeing a retest of this high. Platinum, I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this high. HG, we got a possible double top here, possible nested double top here actually. I'm not showing any signs of breaking down. We've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed, and that hasn't reached the possible near miss target yet. Looking at the euro, we had a weak sell signal and that made target overnight. On GBP, we've got a little level top which has broken down and almost made target. I marked in these arrows. When I captured the chart, it was further short, but it is heading down. I am wondering whether obviously if the dollar makes a big low here, then we're going to see a big high on euro, on GBP, and probably on JPY we'll see a big low. So we've broken down from this rising megaphone, and I've got an open target down here really at a retest of this low here at 142. We'll see how that goes. USD CAD, still not really any obvious pattern forming here. Australian dollar, possible double top setup. NZ, possible double top setup. KC, still heading down here. I'm wondering, this is looking like more than an overthrow now. An underthrow now. So I am wondering what's happening here. We've got a possible falling wedge forming here, but it's not showing any signs of breaking up. Obviously, I have mentioned before that on the bigger picture, this is well outside the normal coffee trading ranges. I wonder if we're returning back to those ranges. SB, not wildly outside its ranges, but on the bigger picture, of course, we do have that head and shoulders, which is broken down with a target in the 6.5 to 9 area. On CC, leaning towards this resuming the downtrend. Tiny bit of positive divergence here. I didn't mark it in, but we've got a very, very weak buy signal fixed on the 60-minute. CT, we may well be forming a head and shoulders, setting up a retest of this low. On lumber, we're still forming the same likely bear flag megaphone. I'm expecting this to resolve sooner or later into a retest of this low in the 564 area. On wheat, little level bottom that has broken up here, finding resistance at the moment, might just fail back into the low. On corn, possible double bottom here. On the bigger picture, I am wondering about lower target. On soy, decent looking little double bottom or flag forming here. On soybean oil, we had a little head and IHS, it broke up, it made target, and the buy signal has made target as well. On live cattle, we've got a possible IHS forming here. It's nice. We'll see whether it breaks up and retest this high. And lean hogs has broken down from a little head and shoulders with a target in the 103 area, and waiting to see if that's going to deliver anything. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. Yeah, my pleasure as always, guys. Anyway, we've got a lot of negative divergence here. I think maybe this needs to work itself out. I am thinking we might see a drop of up to 100 here. I would note that would get us down on SPX to the weekly pivot area at 6140 and the monthly pivot area at 6146. That's the sort of decline I'm thinking we may well see here. We'll see how that goes. All right, my pleasure as always, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.